Welcome to the second part of the series, Secrets of the Millionaire Minds. If you haven't watched the first part, the link is in the description below. Seventh difference. Rich people are okay with promoting themselves. Poor people have negative thoughts about promotion and selling. Let me explain using this analogy. If you had a cure for a virus, would you hide for someone who's suffering from that virus? I guess you wouldn't. And I also guess you believe you have something to offer that might really help people. And it's your job to promote it. Not promoting yourself, you're doing people a disservice. Maybe the product that you have is the same one that can change my life. And if you're not promoting it, then I'm losing the chance of changing my life. To resent promotion is one of the biggest obstacles to success. People that usually have a problem with selling or promotion are broke. How can you create a big income in your business when you're not willing to let people know your product or service? Almost every aspect of life is related to sales. For example, when you're trying to convince your wife to go to a restaurant instead of shopping, you're selling. When you're trying to convince your daughter to study, you're selling. Actually, right now, I'm selling. I'm selling my video, and you're paying with your time. And I'm not embarrassed of selling my video. I'm not embarrassed of asking you to hit the like button and subscribe, because I know that this type of content might help you change your mindset. Eighth difference. Rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe life happens to me. If you want to create wealth, it is important that you believe that you're in control. Poor people live their lives as passengers. On the other hand, rich people always sit behind the steering wheel. Have you ever noticed that poor people are the ones who spend the most buying lottery tickets? They have high hopes that someone's going to take their names out of a hat and make them rich. The author also claims that the poor people also have excuses for their situation. They say things like, money is not important, happiness and love are. These types of comparisons are wrong. Let me ask you something. What's more important, your arm or your leg? You're probably saying, what a stupid question. Of course, both are important. The same way money and happiness are important. Money and love are important. Food and water are important. Poor people also blame other people for their failures. It's never their fault. It's always someone else's fault. They always behave like victims. I have two cousins that grew up at the same village, went to the same schools, had the same teachers, and both had poor parents. Today, one of them is extremely successful and the other is not. The most interesting part is that both use the same reasons to justify their actual situation. The poor cousin blames the poor educational system, poor parents, and the government for his failure. On the other hand, the rich cousin used the same reasons to become successful. He said, I knew that your educational system was poor, and my parents were also poor. That's why I started educating myself and learn new stuff. He doesn't blame anyone or anything. The other reason poor people are poor is because of complaining. When people complain, they focus on what's wrong in their lives. What you focus on expands, so they just keep getting more of what's wrong. Ninth difference. Rich people manage their money well, poor people mismanage their money. Money is just a tool as much as your computer or cell phone that requires learning how to use it. We spend too many hours learning how to use a computer, but when it comes to money, people ignore this simple fact and they don't want to read a book to learn how money works and how to manage it. For me personally, this is madness because money is something we sell our lives for. We work from 9 to 5 for all the week, but when it comes to learning how to manage it, a lot of people fail. With how much poor people complain about their financial situation, you could assume that makes sense to learn the fundamentals about money. But this is never the case. Rich people are not smarter than poor people. They simply have different habits towards money. To control the money, you must manage it. To say that you're going to start managing your money when you become rich is the same as having an overweight person saying that's gonna start making exercises when he or she loses 10 kgs. First, you start managing properly the money you have, and then you'll have more money to manage. If your son is not able to keep his bicycle, would you buy him a car? Of course not. The same principle is applicable to you and the universe. The universe says, until you show me you can handle what you have, you won't get more. The author says that even if you borrow money to live, you still have to learn how to manage that money. The most important thing is to exercise the muscles of money management so it can turn into a habit. It is very important that you create this habit in the first place. For example, if your goal is going to the gym every day and lift 100 kgs, you'll first need to learn how to lift your 1 kg blanket before lifting a weight of 100 kgs. If you don't get the habit of lifting your blanket and getting out of the bed, so there's no way of reaching your goal. To manage your money well, the author recommends creating 5 accounts: an investing account, a joy account, an educational account, a donation account, and an expenses account. You should put 10% of your income after taxes in your investing account. This is the account that will give you the golden eggs. He also recommends you to put 10% of your income in your joy account. The money in your joy account is supposed to be used on the end of the month doing funny stuff. You should spend that money in such a way that makes you feel rich and happy. If you only save, the part of you that seeks joy will sabotage your progress. Difference number 10. Rich people are bigger than their problems. Poor people are smaller than their problems. The secret to success is not trying to avoid or get rid of your problems. The secret is growing up to a point that you become bigger than any problem. Doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor, you will eventually face problems. The size of the problem never matters. What matters is the size of you. The bigger the problems you can handle, the bigger the business you can handle, the bigger the responsibility you can handle, the bigger the employees you can handle, and more money you're gonna be able to earn. What we call problems are actually just situations. We make them a problem. Some people make them a problem and others are not even affected. How is it possible that the same situation gets to be a problem for a certain person and not for the other? That depends on the person. That depends on you. You can be fired and spend the whole day depressed and complaining, or you can just use your free time to create your own business. Difference number 11. Rich people are good receivers. Poor people are poor receivers. A poor receiver is someone who's not able to properly receive something. And what do we receive? We receive applauses, compliments, money, gifts, and a lot of other things. Most of us have issues receiving those things. The author says that we're conditioned this way. We grow up hearing things like, "This is wrong. You're not doing it right. What have you done?" These sentences empower the feeling of not being good enough. And not feeling good enough is one of the reasons which we are poor receivers. From now on, accept everything that people offer you. If someone says you look beautiful, just say thank you. Instead of, "What? I look awful today." Simple as that. Just say thank you. Accept the compliments. Eker says, "It is funny that when I was broke and saw a penny on the ground, I never took the time to take the coin. However, now that I'm rich, I take everything that looks like money and then I give it a kiss of good luck and claim to the universe. I'm a money magnet. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." And thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next one.